How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I have a new project that I've been working on and I'm going to tell you all about it. So I picked up this 1988 KLX shifter cart, and when I first picked it up it didn't look this nice. It needed a lot of work, had a lot of rust, a lot of the bolts were missing, and it needed a lot of love. So when I brought it home, I took off all the parts, brought it down to just the frame, and all the parts that were rusty, I went ahead and started cleaning up, made them all nice and shiny again. And that took a few days in itself. So once that was done, I started focusing on painting the frame. And the previous owner just threw red paint all over this thing. They didn't even take it apart when they decided to paint it. They just threw it on there and it was splattered everywhere. But the old original color was actually blue that's similar to this one, or actually matching. So I sanded down the whole frame, got it ready for paint, and I found the Rust-Oleum blue. It's called sail blue. So I sprayed the entire frame, let that paint set, dry really good. And once all that was done, I started piecing it back together, did little touches. I set camber in the wheels. I had to make my own shift lever because this lever actually used to come out to the right side, and between the cylinder and the shift lever my leg wouldn't fit right here, so I brought it out to the left and I had to adjust the linkage angle down here a little bit so it could shift easy. So once I got little things like that figured out, I started focusing on the motor. And I know a few of you are gonna be like, why not a two-stroke engine? Why didn't you do like a KX250? Maybe later down the road. I at least have the go-kart now, so who knows what happens. But the reason why I used the KLX110 was because I already have two of those bikes, and I had a third one that was just a spare bike. So I pulled the engine from that thing and I fit it onto the frame right here. And I realized it was gonna be a tight fit, but it would work. So I started building the engine mounts, and I designed these to be pretty easy, like for the motor to come back out. So it's really just two bolts on the bottom of this engine and the whole engine can come up. So once those mounts were done, I was challenged with another problem, and that was getting fuel up to the carburetor. So on a dirt bike, the gas tank is usually mounted somewhere up here and it's gravity fed. So the pressure and the weight from the gas itself is just going down in there. And I didn't want to mount a gas tank anywhere above the engine or like behind the seat right here or something. I wanted it to be kind of like simple, you know? So after doing quite a bit of research, I found out about a fuel or a pulse pump, and it's this little thing right here. And this thing saved the whole project, and it helped me do what I wanted to do. So what this does, it has a diaphragm inside, goes up and down as it's pumping the fuel from this tank up to your carburetor. And there's a line from the pulse pump that goes all the way up to your intake. And when your intake is breathing, obviously taking its intake, it's moving the diaphragm inside the pulse pump and it's pumping the fuel up to your carburetor. So it's a really simple design, but it works great, and it saved this project, honestly. So I got that figured out, and a lot of the go-kart was already done. It was just making it look pretty and stuff. So I decided that I would paint the engine covers blue, little intake blue, tappet covers blue, all to match the frame. And that was that for that part. Oh yeah, and also the exhaust. The exhaust, I didn't want to have some random like dirt bike exhaust that was shaped for the bike on here. So the only part original is the collector that goes straight to the head. I cut it off, made my own bends and tailpipe, and that was that for the header and exhaust. And I was pretty stoked on that because it was probably the second one I built. The first one didn't come out that nice, so I'm getting better on that stuff. Yeah, the go-kart was all done for that. It still needs brakes. I don't have brakes. So the clips you will see right now are clips of me just driving it around brakeless and all that. So once I get brakes, I'll send it into the corners a little bit faster and all that stuff, I promise you. And before I got new tires, I had really old, crappy tires that were all dry rotted. So the old ones, I just did a crazy little burnout. I strapped it down to the garage and I just let those suckers burn. So you'll see a clip of that also. But right now it has all brand new tires, and you'll see clips of that also, of me testing out these. So yeah, I think that's about it. There's not too much to these go-karts, so it all went pretty easy and fast. So once I get brakes, there'll be more videos, me getting crazy with this thing. But for now, we'll just cut to those clips that I have, and I hope you enjoy it. Look at the tire.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
Alright, so that was that. I thought it was freaking awesome. That was like my first real drive. So, yeah. I have to get brakes for this, so I'll have more fun and I'll be able to send it even harder. I have to kind of take it easy right now. I'm afraid to get hit by a car. But yeah, guys, stay tuned and there'll be more videos, so thank you. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I always appreciate it. See ya.